Direct Service Garage Doors. We are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Northwest Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 479-203-5880, or visit our website at directservicenwa.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right. Well, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It is Tuss Talk with Ty post-game show. I do appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Patreon supporters. You guys help make this whole thing go. This is a call-in show. The regular season, anyways, is over with. I want your... First off, shout out to SLR, Sports Live Reactions, who's in chat. I appreciate you, SLR. But you guys make sure you check out that link provided for you right there in the comment section if you want to call in. Okay, regular season over with. Finally, I think Arkansas fans are ready for this to be over with, but we've still got the SEC tournament left to go. It looks like they'll be matched up against Vanderbilt for game 1, which I think is Wednesday. One more loss and it's over. Thank God, says Steve-O. I don't know, as long as I've been alive, I've ever seen a team so hyped up. And I'll fully take ownership. I told you guys this team I thought their caliber with the talent, with the top 5, top 10 class coming in out of the portal, the 2 freshman additions who you had coming back with Devo and the gang in Brazil. Really thought that Arkansas, this was a Final Four caliber team. It did not. Obviously, I don't think that they're anywhere near that. They showed it. They showed a little bit of fight today. I don't think that anybody could argue that their performance today was all bad. It just, that I don't know what Battle was thinking there with that last possession before overtime. I don't know what was going on there. I did think that there was some there's a lot of different things you could pick apart about this game, but one of them can't be this team's overall performance in this game. I thought Bama was going to beat Arkansas by 20 plus. Instead, Arkansas led the entire game up until the end when Alabama managed to tie it up. I thought Arkansas was going to win it, but about 4 minutes into the second half, or 4 minutes to go in the second half, you saw it all kind of unravel. We saw it all unfold. We saw how it happened. We had a feeling it would happen. This team has struggled before first half. the final few minutes in the first half, we see them melt down, give up easy looks, whether it's outside shots, 15-footers, perimeter threes. If it's easy slices or cuts to the basket continuously in the final several possessions of a half, and the same thing, or the first half, and the same thing in the second half. This team doesn't know how to close out games. They don't know how to close out halves. They don't know how to do it. And it's so aggravating to watch. It's like all of that performance. You had a 15-point lead in the first half. And I get it. Alabama is one of the top offenses, if not, all things considered, the best offensive basketball team in the entire landscape of college basketball. I get it. They're good, but they weren't shooting so well in the first half. They were missing looks, whether they were open or contested shots. You got to take advantage. I thought Brazil early on in the game looked pretty good. I mean, I thought he looked really good. I thought we finally started to see the thing that where's this been all year? And then he settles for these threes. What was he? 0 for 4, 0 for 3 outside. You're just another guy out in the perimeter, Brazil. That's not why the NBA has your name circled, or they did anyways. That's not why. You're just another player when you're hovering around out in the perimeter on the offensive side of when you've got the ball on the offensive side of the floor. This team is so infuriating, and yet you have to tip your cap to their performance today. I know it's easy to just crap on them. I get it. They did find a way to lose this game. I know some people want to blame officiating. I think it goes beyond officiating for sure. I'm honest about this, though. I'm okay with losing to Bama this way. We played the whole game with the lead. I mean, that's absolutely right. You can't take away the performance of Arkansas on the floor. You can't do it. You can't do it. You could sit here and complain about how they ended things, how they failed to close out the first half with a double-digit lead when you had a double-digit lead at least half of the time, as much as a 15-point lead, and Alabama was able to shrink it. You could complain about what happened in the final minutes of regular possession, and you could complain about how they couldn't close out in overtime. I don't know, man. I get it when you people when some of you say, thank God one more game, just end it. Let Vanderbilt end it. I feel you. But at the same time, if they play anywhere close to how they've played lately, especially on the offensive side of things, they could win a couple in the SEC tournament. Not that it does much. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, Brazil SLR says, yes, Brazil did good in the beginning. Tied, good game, but this team has no offensive plays, just no structure. Well, they never have, Charles. We've talked about that before. There's no offensive structure at all. There's none. We thought there would be a little bit, and with some of their post play, it looked like they'd drawn some things up. I don't know. It's certainly just it's just more of the same with them on offense, and yet throughout the first half of the SEC season, or the SEC conference season, they were one of the top 5, top 6 scoring offenses, even with a lack of offensive structure. Bumbles bounce. This is pretty indicative, I think, of how people feel. Typical Arkansas, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah, this year that has certainly been that's been it, right? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, and then you've also had just complete blowouts at home. After Purdue's young DB, I really thought we had a Final Four team. Crazy how this team imploded. I was there. Let's see. I was there. We had Bama sweating. Yeah, they had Bama sweating. I mean, there's no doubt their crowd was probably a little bit shocked. I mean, Arkansas led the entire game up until the final minutes when Bama was able to tie it up, and then obviously they were able to take over. And in overtime, Arkansas fought a little bit. It felt like it was going to be back and forth. Bama with that 2-point lead, and then they're able to stretch it out just a little bit. Again, it is a call-in show. It's the end of the regular season. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'd love for you to call in. All it takes is one. Bumbles Bounce is very disappointed. Camo says Mitchell's got to finish that dunk. Tony Brown, what's up, man? You've not mad, just disappointed. Yeah, you can't be mad at the effort, the energy. Not everyone was playing with high energy. I thought there were some guys that still trailed, in transition defense. They were just kind of jogging down the floor. That always gets on my nerves. Did you guys see Davenport? At one time, he makes his nice little slice to the rim. He gets the bucket. He falls down. He gets up, and he runs his ass down to the other side of the floor. I love Davenport's energy, man. I love it. I know there's some questions about him. He's a 3-and-D type player. That's what he is. He's going to plant that foot and take the shot. He's rarely is he going to move the ball. Woo Pig says this team disgusts me. I don't know about what you saw today that disgusts you outside of just losing. Tercer says shameful. Played so well only to find a way to lose. Didn't even watch OT. All Hog fans knew the outcome once the lead was gone. That's how the year has played out every single time. When they've managed to keep games close, when they've managed to keep a game close, they find a way to let it slip away. I feel like I could count on one hand this year, whether it's in conference or out of conference, when they've had a slim lead in the final minutes and they found a way to win. And what's even more upsetting is, you had a lead at halftime. You had a lead at halftime. Despite having a 50-point lead blown, you still led at halftime, and you felt like Arkansas was still in control. And you felt that way throughout most of the second half, despite the fact that shots weren't falling. Zach Fletcher says Battle usually draws fouls at the right time at the end of regulation. Was close, man. Difference in the game. Grant Nelson, yeah. Brazil was getting balled on. Well, he also played pretty well. I don't know if you watched the entire game, Freddie, or if you had hater glasses on. I don't know, but I thought Brazil actually a little bit there played pretty well. Let's go over the numbers here really fast. Looking at this game, Alabama, who did not shoot their usual lights out, right? I mean, they were 44%, 33 of 75. They're not really a super duper high percentage scoring team. They just get buckets outside. I mean, they average 11 threes a game, and they usually get really good bench production, which they got 30 points from their bench today alone. And they did score 92 points, but it took them to overtime to get there. But they shot 44% from the floor. They just take a high volume. They take a lot of shots, right? 33 of 75. That's good enough for 44%. That was more shots than Arkansas took, who was at 67 shots for the Hogs. 9 of 30 outside shooting. So Arkansas kept them a couple of buckets on the outside below their average. 9 of 30 outside. They were 17 of 25 from the free throw line, putting them at 68%. Yeah, they had 30 points from their bench. Stevenson led the way with 18 points off the bench. And, of course, Sears, no surprise here. The guy goes 3 of 7 outside, 22 points. I really thought Latrell Wrightsell looked really good, and 8 of 12 for him, 4 of 8. He was 50% outside shooting with 20 points. Estrada had 10 points with 4 boards, 7 assists for Estrada. He certainly helped things go offensively for Alabama. But how about Nelson? Nelson was a killer in this game. He had 3 offensive boards alone. That was more than any single player on Alabama's roster, to go along with 13 total boards, 1 assist, 2 steals, 3 blocks, just 1 turnover. He did get into a little bit of foul trouble. I thought he should have fouled out, but that's just me. 14 points. He had a very large impact on the floor for Alabama. They turned the ball over a lot in the first half, and then they kind of, when you consider they had to play overtime, they did a pretty good job of limiting their overtime or limiting their turnovers. They had 11 total turnovers, 19 assists, so that's +8 on the assist to turnover ratio. That's a good number. That's a great number. I'm sure Nate Oates is thrilled with 11 turnovers, but still, all things considered, the way they came out the gate, turning the ball over like they did, not bad to have 19 assists. And again, Estrada, who led the way. Sears, who had 22 points and 6 assists to go along with that as well, with 1 steal and 1 rebound. Arkansas lights out in the first half. Lights out in the first half. These guys were shooting north of 60% throughout most of the first half. That number came down towards the end of the first half, and then obviously in the second half when they struggled a little bit, Bama went on a little bit of a run there. They were 30 of 67, almost 45%. They were 4 of 20. You want to know why you lost? Your shot selection outside was terrible. It was awful. And I'm not saying that because you missed 16 threes. I'm saying that because you took 20 threes, and about half of them were uncalled for, shouldn't have taken them. Battle took, again, he's known for taking at least 3 ill-advised threes, but you know what? Shooters shoot. You have less of a problem with his 1 of 6. But then you look at Brazil, who, like I said, goes 0 for 3 outside. He just becomes another guy. So, again, you're 4 of 20, 20%, although Arkansas was able to maintain a healthy lead throughout most of the first and second half because of their free throw shooting. They were 24 of 27. That's good enough for almost 89%. Arkansas off the bench had 28 points. Mitchell, Davenport, and Devo, who had 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, no turnovers, but 2 points. Mitchell is your leading scorer off the bench for the Hogs with 18 points. He fought. He got Alabama in foul trouble. I think to open up the second half, I think he forced like 3, maybe 4 Crimson Tide players in the first 6 minutes with a charged timeout. A foul. Mitchell played great. His 4 turnovers were not pretty. Playing with 4 fouls wasn't pretty, but getting them into a little bit of foul trouble was pretty. And 18 points with 5 boards, 2 offensive rebounds isn't bad. Battle doesn't do in our prediction this week. It was, does he hit 30 points or give me his numbers? He doesn't get to 30. He comes up 8 points shy there, but he does have 7 rebounds to go along with 22 points, but 6 turnovers. Turnovers killed this team. They were +5 versus Alabama in the category. I don't know. I mean, again, turnovers have at times plagued this team, as they have a lot of SEC teams, but Arkansas's been up there. I did, Battle 5 of 16 overall, 1 of 6 outside. He could not find his spot outside, but he was perfect at the free throw line, 11 of 11. Again, I'm going to share the link if anybody wants to call in. Someone, apparently, some Alabama fan was talking in SLR's chat saying he wanted to call in. There's your link. If you're an Alabama fan, feel free to call in. That's probably the most heartbreaking loss of the season, says Cade. That one was tough. Woo Pig Pod's in the house. Devo should not be playing. He's interchangeable with Blocker. 30 minutes, 2 points. Should have given Blocker some of those minutes. Devo was didn't turn the ball over, but other than that, he didn't do much of anything. 2 assists, not okay. All right, cool. But he was on the floor a lot. He should have a couple assists. He ought to have more than 2 points, no doubt. 3 boards. Devo, why he got those minutes, I'm only going to assume because I thought his defense was okay. Maybe Must just like the matchup more so over anyone else playing on the floor. I don't know. I agree. I don't think Devo should have gotten the minutes that he got. I was also pretty upset with L. Ellis, who I thought had more turnovers than 2. I thought he had at least 3, maybe 4. I don't have the official stat sheet, the stat broadcast pulled up, but maybe they say something different. Ellis sometimes he's a guy, he takes ill-advised shots. Every once in a while, you'll see him pull it back if he's in transition on offense and he's got the ball. But he also makes mistakes as well. I think a big issue for this team is not finding a point guard. I think it haunted them most of the season. Not that guys couldn't rack up some assists, not that we didn't see. I mean, again, Ellis did have 3 assists. That's not great. But, I mean, okay, that for an average point guard in the SEC, that's below average. I think them not having a true point guard all year, not establishing that one spot on the floor did not help things for them, obviously. It felt like they had their guy in Minifield. It felt like you wouldn't mind Ellis there for a little bit. He turned it up a few games, and then he just vanishes, or he has games like today. Again, I swear he had 3 or 4 turnovers, but they've got him at 2 on ESPN. Tremont Mark was also 6 of 6 at the free throw line. He was 1 of 4 outside, 30% shooting for Mark. That doesn't help things. Lawson with 2 points, 6 boards, 2 blocks. Arkansas ended up with 9 blocks in this game, just 1 over Alabama, who had 8. Give you guys a baseball update here really quick. That game is going on. It's game 1 of a doubleheader. Arkansas's got a man on base, 1 out, bottom of the 6th, 2-1 lead. McNeese State wearing the solid blue unis, or the tops, I should say, and it looks like Arkansas just got a base hit. I don't know who that was. Was that White? So Arkansas's got 2-1. I'm going to try and cut this short because I know you guys want to go watch that baseball game, but I do appreciate you guys for being here. Hogs win 2 games in the SEC tournament. Listen, they're going to get Vanderbilt game 1. Obviously, they got to win the whole damn thing to do anything. I'm not saying they can't go on a run, because what we saw today, and I felt, again, it's copy and paste. If they play like they did today, they probably could win a lot of games in the SEC tournament. Again, consistency has been this team's problem since day 1. How are you going to beat Purdue in an exhibition? Don't tell me it was an exhibition. Watch that game without knowing it's an exhibition. You can't do that. I know that, but that was not an exhibition. You saw dudes dropping to the floor, drawing blood in the final minutes of that game, and Arkansas found a way to beat them. They beat Duke, right? I mean, they took care of business against a couple teams this year that they had no business doing that against, whether it was exhibition or not. But if, again, it's a consistency issue, and it has been all year. We got someone up. Let me pull down the red wall. There we go. What's up, Mello? What do you got for me, bro?
Man, what it do, Ty? Hey, quiet as killed, man. Mitchell played good, bro, but Mitchell killed us down the stretch, man. Mitchell stopped playing defense, stopped rebounding. He couldn't dunk the ball at the end of the game. Everybody talk about battle, man, but Mitchell really let us down in some key parts of the game.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I thought his effort in the final minutes of that game, and it wasn't just him. It was several guys. They looked.
Oh, no, it wasn't just him.
Yeah, he looked. They looked a little worn down, and I get it. It's overtime, and that was a pretty up and down, high-paced, quick-paced game. A lot of transition, a lot of quick transition possessions, but they were done. They were. We talked all year about their depth. Where was it? Why were there no answers anywhere on the floor in overtime? You couldn't rotate out different faces. You couldn't let someone else come in and play and give these guys a minute.
Yeah, he might have should have went with Lawson for a little second to give Mitchell a break, because Mitchell needed a break because he let us down on the outfit. He wide open layups. He ain't even contesting.
Yeah, I agree.
And Devo point saved us. Hold on, Devo point saved us at the end, man. When number 1 went down, Devo just let the boy lay the ball up in the hole, man.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. It was disappointing. My fridge door. I'm trying to grab my sparkling ice, wouldn't shut. Yeah, I agree with you, man. And that was something I did notice. They look worn out. And no, there wasn't that hustle that we saw, early on in the game. I mean, they just looked done. They looked done. I don't want to say checked out, but they definitely looked like, they were ready to hit to the bus.
Yeah, man. And L. Ellis, man, you say L. Ellis played bad. I think L. Ellis did decent. He did all right. He ain't kill us.
I don't know, man. He rushes down the floor with that ball, and sometimes he just takes these ill-advised shots, or he tries to drive the rim. Every once in a while, he can make those.
Yeah, he has some tough buckets.
He is, man. He could get them. He could slice. I do. I respect his game, but I thought today, I didn't really like his play much today, and I thought he had at least 3 or 4 turnovers. ESPN's saying 2. Maybe that's right, but I think they never solidified the point guard spot. They never solidified it this year, and it was such a problem. I was really hoping Ellis, based on what we'd seen lately, would just, I don't know, look the part. And I just don't think he looked the part today. We got D-Mac on the line too. That ought to be an interesting call.
I think they took a lot from Marks too, man, moving Marks to the point guard, which ain't bad, but he can't score the ball like that at the point, man. Yeah. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But it helped battle, though. Yeah,
it helped battle out a lot. Mark draws attention. Mm-hmm. Anytime he's got the ball in his hands, he draws attention. That really helps out battle. And then and that's kind of how that works, right? Like, all right, well, battle's going to draw attention. Someone's got to be open somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man. All right. I got another caller up. Appreciate your call, Mello.
All right.
Take it easy, man.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, D-Mag? What you got for me, bro?
What's up, man? Can you hear me?
What's up?
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, cool. Arkansas. Hold up. How you doing today, Ty?
It could be better. How are you?
Good. Arkansas
I think D-Mac's on
competes
that
with
T-Mobile.
Alabama. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're. I think you're lagging a little
What it
bit.
sound like?
Well, you're good now. You're good. I see you and I can hear
Point being,
you.
Arkansas competes with Alabama. Simple enough. That is what today will be remembered as. Like Arkansas competed with Alabama. Like I didn't watch the game. I just left from like a I'm also calling in because I didn't call in on the last one. I feel like we need to make sure people just call in, preemptively, just say something, just speak.
I appreciate you. Yeah.
But anyway, um, yeah, like Arkansas competes with Alabama. I'm satisfied, and I'm saying that arbitrarily because I feel as though a lot of the time we place like emphasis on things that we don't really even need to. These are students, these are children, these are like young men. Essentially, of course, they're above the age of 18, but they're still children. They're still their minds are growing, just as well as mine. I'm 22 years old. Um, it's a great thing to see, you know, people step up, for the state. I'm speaking real, like it's a great thing when you see those young guys go out there and perform the way that they do. Brazil had 12, Mitchell had 18. He's performing the best he ever has at the university. Khalif Battle is still, in spite of him going 1 for 6. I remember you saying that he still is putting forth an effort. I'm okay with you missing 5 shots. If you take five, if you take 6 shots, you make one. Well, I'm gonna remember that you made that one. I'm gonna also remember the 5 you missed, but the fact that you had the confidence to take those all 6 of them in general, that's 18 points potentially. You know, I'm sure if those other 5 shots, if he put up 18, we won the game. Um, um, I think to just like I said, what I want to leave you with is the fact that we should be praising, we should be excited. We should all be happy that Arkansas actually competed in this game, and then X out like as much as you possibly can of every other negative aspect of the season. We literally competed with number 16 Alabama. We're going to see what happens from here. But at the end of the day, people need to take shots. People need to continue to be preemptive. People need to continue, like those guys on that team, they need to definitely continue to try hard as they can, like create an identity in themselves on the court, continue to build themselves. Um, and yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate your call. And I agree. I mean, you could look at it glass half full. They did compete against the number 16 team in the country, but
we lost by 4.
In overtime. I hear what you're saying. But I think the aggravating part for Hog fans is that we've seen this before, not being able to close out games. I mean, we got to remember that preseason, this was a team that was talked about top 10, top 15 in the country. And they kind of looked that part today, didn't they? I thought they looked that part, and that is good to see. But again, for the umpteenth time, they found a way to lose a game, and that's what's aggravating fans. And I hear you, glass half full, right? They did compete, and you're right. Also, maybe you should treat it as from here on out, kind of a new season. But it's a season that's going to be cut really short. If they go back to their old ways.
But we got life moves on. I have obligations. Everybody has obligations. It's more. We have to shift our lenses. You have to shift the lens.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna leave it there. Because I feel like I said my piece. I'm glad. I love those guys. Shout out to Cleve Battle. Shout out to Trevin Brazil. Hopefully, prayerfully, I'm counting on him to, you know, make a name for himself, and get back up into like the mock draft conversations and things of that nature. I know he might not be in those conversations as much now, but if he just takes a few more shots, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. He'll find an avenue that he could take, to get him to that next level. I'm glad Makai Mitchell is doing great. I'm just trying to include everybody.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I appreciate your call. Thank you so much.
No problem, man.
I'll see you around, D-Mac.
I will be back.
You got anyone wants to, if you want to rebuttal, the link is provided for you down below. If anyone wants to, maybe you want to continue on with what he was saying. Maybe you want to challenge what he said a little bit there. I hear what he's saying, that glass half full. We went on the road. Arkansas played really well against a really good Alabama basketball team. I hear that, but I think, again, the other side of the aisle saying, yeah, but, at our best, we in the way they performed and at our best, we should have been able to we should have been able to walk away with a win, especially up 15 in the first half. And, and how well, for the most part, they played for about 70% of that second half. You found a way to let it. I mean, again, you had a double-digit lead. You found a way to lose it. And it's as much what Alabama did as well. It is as much about what Alabama did. You got to tip the cap to the Crimson Tide, man. They fought hard. I don't know. Some of y'all think I'm too hard on Ellis. I don't know, man. I get you could drop points, right? You could drop some of the numbers. But 5 of 11 shooting, not that your point guards have to be known for being great shooters, but 5 of 11 is not really much to write home about. 11 points, great. I'm glad. I'm not saying he was terrible. There was some consistency from him as playing the one spot, but he's just, for me, he's not a point guard. That's not his spot. I don't really. It's probably saying more about your roster that he is your guy playing the point, and I'm not trying to dog on him. He didn't play horrible today, but I thought a couple of times he should have pushed the ball back out. Should have looked to pass a little more. We've seen him do that. We'll just drive straight to the lane, won't give his guys a chance to be there for backup, even if he's going to go to the lane and try and score at the iron. That's fine. But sometimes he'll go and not have anyone around him, and it's a crazy shot. And every once in a while, he makes them. Every once in a while, he makes some wild-ass shots around the rim. I'll give him that. But I don't think he plays with the mindset of being a point guard first sometimes. And I that's what I want out of my one. That's what I want out of my point guard. It also doesn't help. You don't run sets. You don't do much. And that's not all on Ellis. That's not all on Minifield when he's at the one. When they've got Tremont Mark at the one. Devo, who they've had at point throughout the years. It's not really all on them. They don't really do much on offense, which is why you see a lot of guys standing around. It's probably hard to establish a point guard because of the way they do things offensively. Ty, do you think there was a reason Muss was so calm today? Is he ready to get out of here? I don't know. I've said for a while he hasn't looked like his old self in weeks, maybe months. I don't know. Did we just watch Muss coach his last regular season game as the head basketball coach? That's the question. Several months ago, I said, no way, there's no shot. And then the more I talk to folks who know a lot more about what's going on at the university, we had Blake Lovell, who's as well connected, even as a quote unquote outsider. He's as well connected as anybody I talk with. And he also sat here on this show not that long ago and said he's hearing the same, that in fact he is headed to Louisville and Arkansas's targeting Beard at Ole Miss. But you don't know. A lot of times this talk comes because you're losing. You're not having a good year. All of a sudden you start hearing about the players' personal lives, and you start hearing about why this guy's doing this and that on the field and why he doesn't, or on the floor. And this is why he's doing these things because of what's going on in the locker room. All this steam and smoke. And I have found over the years, and as long as I've done this, 75% of the time it's all bullshit. It's just fans getting mad because they're losing. They take something from another fan base and they run it as a fact. But I will say this one has this rumor, whether or not he's going to Louisville or not, it does feel like it's got some feet. And that's, I don't know. I guess we'll have to, like I've said for the last several weeks, we'll have to let this thing play itself out. That's all you can do. Again, and I do appreciate all callers. If you guys want to call in, we're running up on just about 40 minutes here. Here's your shot if you want to call in. Bot says he's just glad it's over. And it could be that. It very well could be that. He's just glad that he's going to get the offseason to correct these things. Bearded Ole Miss. He just got to Ole Miss. Bearded Ole Miss. He just got to Ole Miss. He ain't leaving. It's not what I've heard. I'll just say that. Apparently several of his assistants did not move close to Oxford. I don't know how true that is. That is something I have been told. You'd have to ask an Ole Miss fan that. I don't know that his contract is structured for long term at Ole Miss. It's apparently, and I've not seen it. I've tried looking it up. I don't know what the details are of his contract, but talking to some people, it does not read apparently, or it wasn't at the time read like a long-term deal. It certainly seems like a contract that favored Beard. So we'll have to wait and see. I've had a hard time believing that one too, about Beard just leaving a job after a year. I don't know that that's going to happen, but apparently that is the belief that Arkansas will target, that will be a target if Muss leaves. Again, we just have to let it all play itself out. Dude, it's friggin' sports. Go do your life. Just shut up. Gary, I'm assuming you're that wasn't targeted at me. Or maybe it was. And if so, it's my job. What do you mean? It's what I do. Thank God the season's over. Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of thank God the season's over comments. It's not over. Regular season's over. You could target anyone. You could target Doc Rivers. Cam, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but that would probably be the most likely candidate, would it not? I mean, let's be real. If they're going to go after someone, they're going to go after Beard. Kate says it ain't over. Kate, are they going on a run? Is that what you're telling me, Kate? They're going to go on a run? We better target Nolan Richardson. Just get ready. SEC tournament's here. That's what's next. That is what's next. And Kate says it best. Any freaking thing can happen. She's talking about the tournament. I agree. Anything can happen. Can Arkansas go on a little bit of a run? I think they can. I think they can. We'll have to see. They got to get by Vanderbilt first. And, we know the record versus Vanderbilt is, well, it's not like you would imagine. Okay. Ty, that was a DMAC, not you. All right. Okay. I figured it probably was, Gary. I thought you were my guy. I mean, just saying, until it happens, you could target anyone. Laugh a lot. I agree, Ty. I wish we could have Beard over Muss at first. Right. Kate says we're gonna pound Vanderbilt. We should have won. Looked pretty good today. And that is the one thing you guys can argue with what DMAC said, but he was right. They did go to Alabama and play a hell of a game. I think you could probably put a number of teams, and now you play everyone different. Not everyone's roster is the same. Not everyone's rotation is the same. Not everyone's talent level is the same. But Alabama's up there. You play this way in the SEC tournament, you're going to win games. But again, the biggest issue for this team has been finding consistency. But Battle, I mean, let's just look at it this way. We're going to say Battle had an off game. Maybe not an off game, but not his self that we've seen lately. He did turn the ball over 6 times. I'm not in love with that. But he had 22 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, a steal, and a block. And several months ago, you're over the moon with that kind of performance. Look where you're at now. And we've seen that out of Battle. We're seeing less Tremont Mark. We're seeing more Battle. Imagine if these guys get it figured out. And what if Brazil continues to play the way that he did today? I think overall he played pretty good. 12 points, a steal, 2 blocks, just 2 turnovers, 6 boards. not too far away from a double-double. So maybe we're going to get the good side. Maybe we're going to get some consistency out of Brazil. He certainly played with a little bit of confidence today. I think a number of these guys did. All right, so no other callers. We're going to end it there. Shout out to the sponsors. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, Services, Quality Parts. Oh, no, we got a caller. Hold on. Who just called in? Who is this? Oh, okay. I think DMAC. I think DMAC wants to respond. Hold on. Do you have a response, or are you just trying to figure out how to log off? I don't think DMAC knows he's on this call. Bro. All right. From me and DMAC, from DMAC and I, you guys have a good time. Bro's trying to figure it out. He's just trying to figure it out. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. Give them a call today, 501-244-3667. And, of course, the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria on Emma Street in Springdale. Fantastic pies. They're a staple in Springdale. Next time you're in town to maybe watch Arkansas baseball, or if you're coming to watch Arkansas football, spring camp is upon us. Apparently, they're going to have some open scrimmages. So maybe you're in town. Why not stop by the Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria? Tell them Tuss Talk with Ty sent you. All right, I'll see you guys. Enjoy the baseball game. Right now, Arkansas's got a 3-1 lead. I don't know who's on the mound for Arkansas, but McNeese has bases loaded. So I'm going to watch this, probably play some Helldivers 2 tonight, assuming the servers are worth the shit. I will see you guys next week. I will be giving you spring reports as I see them. Well, I'm going to give you my responses to what I'm seeing. If you're a Patreon supporter, you're getting those responses first. I'm telling you guys in Patreon chat what I'm seeing a little bit here and there. It pays off to be a Patreon supporter, so why not go be a part of it? Check it out. Make sure you're in our Discord. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.